Hi, welcome to Real Talk with Lori, where you must be 18 years or older. Because oops, my background's falling apart. Anyway, because this is raw and uncensored, and I do curse. I talk about all kinds of things. I'm not claiming to be a therapist, I'm just speaking from experience. Um, and so today's topic is living with the emotions of abuse, um, rather it be domestic violence, physical, emotional, verbal, all kinds of things. It's just learning how to deal with those emotions and allowing yourself sometimes to feel those emotions. All kinds of things. You get anger, um, sadness, sorrow, suicidal, all of these things. And it, it's difficult to go through these things, but I want you to know that you're not alone. There are thousands of people in all walks of life that have been abused one way or another, and either by their husband, their wife, or even a coworker or a boss. You know, so I want you to know that you're not alone, and that you don't deserve it, and that you do have someone out there that can help you through it, especially with the pandemic going on. You probably already feel isolated, then you add the pandemic, and you know you can't get out there, because lots of things like therapy, a lot of them you can't go to there, because of the pandemic, and some aren't doing the virtual appointments, or sessions. So I'm just here trying to talk about it, get it out there, and know that you're not alone. You don't have to share here, or speak to me here, but please, contact me. Um, my email is Lori Kolarczyk at gmail.com. And that's Lori, I as in ice, then Kolarczyk, K as in king, O, T as in Tom, Lar, S as in Sam, I as in ice, C as in cat. I know it's a doozy, but that's my name, Lori Kutlarczyk at gmail.com. I'd love to be able to talk to you, help you through this, help you muster the courage and the strength, inner strength and courage to be able to get out of a situation like that. A lot of people think of, abuse, that it's just from, a loved one, your partner, your husband, your wife, but, coworkers and bosses do it too. So and all of that stems from, which makes you have low self-worth, can do depression, all kinds of things. So this is about talking about, emotions, and which specifically from some kind of abuse, rape, there's just all kinds. Yes, yes, yes. And again, this is Lori with Real Talk. You must be 18 years or older. I don't claim to be a therapist or a counselor or anything like that. Just consider me someone that has true empathy, because pretty much I've been there, I've been through it, and I'm still dealing with it. And but one thing I can say, that from the domestic violence, I've never, or even anything in my life, I've never claimed to be a victim, because it doesn't, it doesn't help the situation. Yes, things be horrible and horrific and all this? Absolutely. But really, there's a difference between a survivor and a victim, and it's in a mindset. And I want to help you to overcome this and come out stronger. And again, know that you're not alone, and know you don't deserve it, and that you need to feel these feelings, absolutely, the sorrow and all these things. It's okay. It's okay to feel those things, but you just can't stay there, because really that isn't going to help the situation. It really isn't. Just staying there in that position, it isn't going to help. So, I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you, Charlotte. Shout out to Charlotte, my moderator, and Cindy for being my, my rock. Days I'm supposed to be helping other people, and she kind of gives me a pep talk to keep me going to do this. Because it really takes a lot out of me emotionally, especially to put myself out there. I started out on Facebook, and now I'm doing YouTube, and and some days I have good days where it really affects me. It doesn't really affect me. And then there's days that it really bothers me. And I think it's maybe the subject that we're talking about, or my kind of mood, or whatever, all kinds of things. But, we are all entitled to our feelings. That's what today's session is about, feelings, emotions. Uh, it stems back to the self-reflection. It's okay to feel the woe is me and stuff like that, but you just can't stay there. You just can't stay there. It's okay to be angry. It's all of these emotions you're entitled to. I came from, old school. You brush yourself off, you get over it. And there was no such thing as anxiety and depression and stuff like that when I was growing up. It was the only time you heard about someone having mental issues, it was that they were, going to the loony bin. But uh, but that kind of mindset helped me to get through the things that I got through. But that's me personally. But I do believe it would help you too if you learn to accept and embrace these feelings. Okay. You can have moments of these feelings, but you just can't stay there, because it isn't going to help you grow and get through whatever this is, or help anyone around you or the environment around you. I'm a firm believer in positive thinking. Like if you're a woe is me kind of person, that's who you're going to be with, and that's how your life is going to be. Gloomy and despair and all that stuff. But if you have a different outlook, if you change your outlook, it'll help you to feel better, to get motivated, to get out of that feeling, if that makes any sense, because it's helped me. And from the people that, since I've been started doing this, that have reached out to me, they tell me that they'll say to themselves when they get up, I'm going to have a great day today. It's going to be a great day. And it usually does end up being that way, because it's a mindset. If you get up thinking, oh, like the typical Monday blues, oh, it's Monday and I'm going to, it's bad, So, but again, this goes from like a video that I did on Facebook. It's okay to have your bad days, to recharge, and like even the strongest of people, like I'm living, breathing proof that, you can have your moments of weakness, but you just can't stay there. Like I have times like on Saturdays or something, that I just kind of want to just, either I'm staying in our room watching TV, or I just put my headset on and watch Netflix, and I zone out and I get it. And I kind of like try not to pay attention to things around me, because I just need to not be in my head. But days like when I'm in my bedroom, I kind of am wanting to be by myself and get into my feelings, because I've done a lot of self-reflecting. And, you really need to know you. And sometimes that can be ugly. But, you have to be true to yourself and know the things that upset you, the things that set you off, make you feel this kind of way. And so, like I've been telling my followers on Facebook, as it was told to me through my many years of counseling, that to write a journal, and of what you got up, when you got up, and things you did, and who you spoke to, who you saw, and it made you feel this kind of way or that kind of way. Those things can help you kind of learn yourself, because a lot of people truly don't understand themselves and understand their feelings. And so the journal really helped me. And after like a couple weeks, I look back and I'm like, oh my God, wow. And you kind of learn yourself. And I noticed as I've gotten older, I've done self-reflecting, and I've learned about myself. And, I've been in and out of therapy for years. And I think it's just recently that I've allowed it all to sink in. And I don't know if it's a phase in my life or it was the learning to live with, the death of our daughter. I don't know. I don't know. And the reason why I'm doing these things, these videos, uh, is I've had a pulling to be able to get my story out there, I guess, as some people are calling them my testimonies, but they're just my life that I'm sharing with you guys. So you'll know that you're not alone, that it's okay to feel these feelings, and it's understandable that you're going through these things. But I want to help you come out of it, rise out of it, and not stay there, because all these emotions can sometimes lead to depression and suicide or drugs and alcohol. And our daughter died of a drug overdose, and she apparently was depressed, and we didn't know that. And so I think maybe that's why I'm doing this, is so I could, since I wasn't able to help her because I didn't know she was depressed, maybe I'll be able to help someone else. And if I can help one person, then I've done something, I've accomplished something. And that means a lot to me. I've always been a giver. I've always helped, and I've always taken care of other people. And, I'm in my 50s now, and my kids are grown. I have 5 children and 10 grandchildren and one in the oven. And I'm, I don't, I'm not no longer raising, we're no longer raising our daughter's children. But I still feel like I need to help people, even though, I know, but, I still feel like there's something more for me to give. I had a child at a very young age. I was 17 when I had him, and, I was a child with a child. And I remember being that age and people saying that I was a child, and that made me so angry. But now I get it. But I get it. You don't realize, not that I regret him, please. That's not what I mean. It's just, I was too young. I still had a lot of growing and a lot of life to learn, to do that before I should have had a child, but I'm thankful. I'm very thankful. But again, that's because I've always been a giver. I've been taking care of people, for almost 37 years. But uh, oh, yes, yes. Please like and subscribe to my page so you'll be able to see me again. And I am also on Facebook under the same name, Real Talk with Lori. And again, it's not for anyone that's younger than 18, because it's raw, uncensored, and sometimes I get very graphic with my details, and I curse sometimes because this is, like I said, this is real. This is real talk. And today's topic is dealing with emotions from abuse. There are, like I said, there's different forms of abuse, and it isn't always, your partner, your husband or your wife or your girlfriend. You're strong. Exactly. Yes, Amanda. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. I don't regret having them. It was the timing, but honestly, having him helped me to grow up quicker than I should have. Um, because once you have a child, it's no longer about you. Absolutely. You're right. It's no longer about you. It becomes about that child. But I had to grow up real fast because I had lost my mom when he was 6 months old, and I was estranged, from my father. So I didn't have really any guidance to help me. What do I do? Here I am, what do I do with this child? So there is no, other than, you're supposed to get help from your mother and your grandparents and stuff that kind of give you advice, and then you kind of take your advice and what you think is best, and kind of combine them together. but I didn't have that. So I did the best I could, and everything that I did good, bad, or indifferent, I did out of love, some right, some wrong, but uh, a lot of that, going through those things and is what helped keep me, having a child, having children is what kept that. Plus my upbringing kept my head strong, where you can't keep, you can't wallow in yourself pity. You got to get up, keep moving, and go on with life. Brush yourself off. You can't stay there. You just absolutely cannot stay in that position. So that I am thankful for, even for, the domestic violence, the rape, the gang rape, and, the alcoholism, the abandonment, all the issues. That mindset has helped me be where I am and be who I am today. But they don't define me. They are not who I am. All these horrific things that have happened to me, because that's a mindset. I am a survivor, but I'm not a victim, And so again, today's topic is about emotions. You're entitled to every feeling that you feel. But as I told my kids growing up, okay, I understand you're upset or you're angry or you're this or you're that. So I made mine go to their room, okay, and cry it out there. It's okay to cry, but you don't need to uproar the entire house. And that's what I mean by your attitude. If you're angry, because of something over here, and then you take it out on your world, and it's usually you take it out on the ones you love mostly, really. That isn't fair. 9 times out of 10, it isn't their fault. It's something that you have to deal with. It's on you. That feeling of allowing whatever that is to affect you. Does that make sense? So if you're angry about a situation, okay, you're entitled to that feeling, but not when it's toxic to the environment, to everybody else around you, or even to yourself. Because like a loved one hurts you or says something like that, 9 times out of 10, it comes out in anger. And then you get into an argument, right? So this one's saying this and this one's saying that, and no one's hearing anything. You're just over talking, you're just arguing and no one's hearing nothing. And that doesn't accomplish, my stuff's falling off. And that doesn't accomplish anything. My husband and I, we've been together 27 years. And yes, we have had arguments. And boy, but now I can't even say we have arguments. We have more of a spat or a disagreement. And, you argue your point, not with anger to hurt somebody. You don't win by calling names, and you argue your point, so that way it's not toxic. Ooh, I can't even talk. Toxic for the situation or yourself or your loved ones. So does that make any sense? Or if you're, you're just having one of those, you just can't even explain it. You're just feeling really somber and just woe is me, and that's going to affect your whole house. That's going to affect your whole environment, because of so you take yourself away from it and you go to your room. And if you have kids, then you know what you got to do. You got to suck it up, and you can't do it. You have to wait till they go to bed or they're gone or whatever. And then, and it's not that I'm saying that the kids can't see your weakness, but it's okay to cry in front of your kids, but not where you're just so uncontrollable and you're just of no use to them. Does that make any sense? Because, because I just mean, because it's just not going to help the whole thing, the whole picture. You can't be like that every day, angry or crying. It's just... Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. It like, I can imagine everybody feels differently, and you're entitled to every feeling that you feel. Like, the abuse I had, physically abused me. That is why my nose is crooked. He broke my nose twice, gave me a concussion, and broke 2 ribs. And I was gang raped by 5 guys, and all of these things were horrific, awful. But the one that I have not been able to come out of, so to speak, is the death of our daughter. It has affected me the most, where some people, the domestic violence would have just broke them. It all depends. Everybody's different and everybody's entitled to their feelings. I can absolutely understand. Yeah. Yeah. Cause that's your father. Yeah, absolutely. That's your father. Yeah. Um, I like coming from the domestic violence. Um, and then when I, got into another relationship that was verbally abusive, I would say, and this may sound crazy, but I would say I'd rather you punch me in my mouth than say those hurtful things. Now that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. Oh, oh no, no, no. You can't do that. Yeah. No. See, if you're gonna, oops, let me just take these things off. If you're going to, you know, I have I have found, Amanda, that a lot of people, and I hate to say it like this, but a lot of men aren't in touch with don't want to get in touch with their feelings, because they're soft. I mean, they're hard. They're like my husband, I always say, is a turtle. He's got a rough exterior, hard on the outside, but soft and squishy on the inside. I know that side of him. He doesn't. And a lot of them aren't in touch with their feelings. You know, that book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. They're just built different, than us. We get into our emotions and our feelings, and or a lot of, most men, I can't say not all, I can't say all, but a lot of times, they're not in touch with their feelings, and they're only like the therapy, they're only doing it just kind of really to shut you up. That's how it was, you know, in my younger parts of our, relationship, and I really, that's what I feel, that it was more so just to shut me up. And then it wasn't really worked on outside of there, but you got to put in the work. Marriage is just like any other relationship, I mean, any of, like, your work relationship with your coworkers or your job, you got to put 100% in that, you know yeah, absolutely, you do. Thank you for joining me. Again, this is Real Talk with Lori. You must be 18 years or older. You Because this is raw, uncensored. I can be very graphic, and I curse. So if I'm connecting with you, if you like me, please like and subscribe, and follow me to you. I'm sorry, Facebook. I am on Facebook also, Real Talk with Lori. I'm not doing this for anything other than to help people to get out there, to, I guess, share my story, and if I connect with you, because with the times right now with the pandemic, you're already feeling isolated, especially like with me. I don't go out. I don't get, because I'm one of the ones that are high risk. So I'm just kind of, staying in my little bubble, and I miss people. And I'm doing this, if to help people, and in turn, it really does help me, because it helps me to talk. Because talking about it does help. It absolutely does help. I do hope that my internet is holding up. um, this is a learning curve. My my moderator Charlotte usually does things for me, but I'm trying to figure this out myself. I worked on a new background, and okay, I'm good. Awesome. Yes. Yes. Thank you, people. Yeah, ladies or whoever. I can't see who's on. Uh, But yeah, feelings, you're in, back again, you're entitled to your feelings. Um, but not when it's toxic. Because that works both ways. If um, not when it's toxic, and for yourself and those around you. Um, you can feel sad and angry and all these things, but you can't stay there, and you can't affect other people with it. And I know that sounds terrible, but I mean, the woe is me and the anger and stuff like that, bringing it out into the world doesn't help you. It doesn't help the situation. Um, so you have to try and, this goes back to like one of my other videos. You have to learn yourself, learn how to self-soothe. If it's doing a project, putting on your headset and watching Netflix, building something, whatever. If you just can't get a grip on your emotion, do something with that. So it doesn't eat you up and then exude and affect your whole household and your life. So I'm trying to help you find a different way to handle your emotions, instead of it coming out in woe is me or anger. So like nowadays, like I said, mine is Netflix. Most of the time I don't like what my husband's watching on TV anyway. My husband, to sum up, is a redneck hippie nerd. And the only thing I used to love that we agreed on was watching Big Bang Theory. So I just kind of, I used to have to tell him, okay, I'm going to zone out. Can you just handle things yourself instead of, let me just, I need to go. I need to zone. Now, when I do it, I put them on, he knows what's happening. Because, we've been together long enough and we've had enough talks, and he's had to learn to talk and let himself open up to me. And I still don't think he's completely in touch with himself either, but I'll keep working on him. In fact, we were just talking to my mother-in-law, and we were talking about we're yin and yang, where I'm a right now kind of person. Right now, if I want to do something or thought about something, I want to do it right now. And I used to always think that he was a procrastinator, and that drives me insane, where I would just like inside, I would like, oh my God, can we just go? Can we just do it now? Even as something as simple as we're going to order in food, have food delivered. And I'll say, what do you want? I don't know. You decide. And because he can't find something, he always ends up being the one to pick it. But come to find out, it's because he's such a overthinker. It's not that he's, a procrastinator. It's that he overthinks. And which he just told me today on the conversation with, my mother-in-law. So he never spoke those words. We women tend to, I wonder what he's thinking. And since he doesn't talk, we have to kind of think about what he's feeling. You know what I mean? And it's just because they just won't speak. Well, because usually they just think about, a couple things: work and sex, and food. But, they've got to think, especially when they get older, they start thinking about other things. But usually, sex, food. But, I'm working on him. He's getting more in tune with himself. I guess I'm his yin and he's my yang. But we kind of keep each other balanced. If I'm having one of my days, I just tell him, look, I'm not in a good place. I'm not in a good place. I'm angry and I can't even explain why. And so he just kind of stays away from me, and lets me get in my head and get myself out of it. And he'll know when I start talking to him, trying to pull from him or just trying to share that, I'm trying to work myself out of it, And that's what this is learning how to deal. Today's talk is trying to learn how to deal with your feelings and your emotions, from the domestic abuse or any kind of abuse. And no, but you, in order to learn your feelings and stuff, like, you got to do that self-reflection. And but I want you to know that you are worthy of the right kind of love. And so you have to love yourself to get the right kind of love. Yes. Sounds like you're me. You're me, Amanda. Yeah. But I want you to know that you're worthy of love. Um, you know, uh, that you can learn yourself, learn how to handle your feelings. So that's why I suggest that journal. You know, writing down, as you write it down, write something, like, this is, you did this and it made you feel angry, instant angry, but then you got to figure out why did it make you feel that way. you know because, like, with me, I have PTSD. I know my triggers. I'm almost to the point where I pretty much know my everything, a trigger that's going to make me feel angry or whatever. um Sometimes it takes a little bit of thinking. Sometimes I can just wake up, though, and be in some kind of way mood, angry or just sorrowful. Like October, some days are real bad about Megan, but the month of October is just, it's just shitty, because that's when she passed, and just the whole month, and holidays in general. October, January to January are not good. And I'm kind of on a roller coaster, and I have to, like, kind of give myself a pep talk. All right, come on, get your shit together. Stop it. Feeling this way, you're entitled to it, and you can have it for a little bit, but you can't stay there, because you still got shit to do. You got to get up. You got to do this. You got to, clean the house. You got to take care of dogs. You got to, the kids, the grandchildren that we're babysitting. You can't be in this mood, and take care of these kids. You got to get out of it, suck it up, buttercup, so to speak. you know um so if this is helping you in any kind of way, I hope. Sometimes we got to laugh at ourselves, because sometimes we can do some foolish things. We can have foolish behavior, and because it's an emotion. Like, I found, like, a lot of the comedians and the people that are joking all the time, they're hurting inside some kind of way. They're feeling something kind of way. But again, it's okay to feel those feelings. um Oh, 25 years. Okay, Amanda. Yeah, well, 27 for us. Took me 4 years to marry him. God bless him. This is both our second marriage. Yeah. Yes. Please like and subscribe to my page, because the more I get out there, in fact, my Charlotte's supposed to put me on TikTok or something too. The more that I can reach, the more I hopefully, can help. That if you connect with me, when this is, heartfelt, because I wouldn't be out here, putting myself out there like this, um, and I'm not doing this for the attention. I'm doing this to hopefully connect with somebody that can help, that I can help, that may relate to something I'm saying, and know that, you can rise above whatever it is, come out even stronger, love yourself, and love those around you. Or if it's a toxic relationship, get out, period. Like, especially an abusive, and that's not just fists. They can be abusive and slapping around, or verbal. And again, co-workers, bosses, especially some bosses just think because they sign your check that they can talk to you any kind of way and treat you any kind of way. No, No. Mm-mm. That's what they call a kind of in the realms of a hostile work environment, and that's when you go to HR, the human resources department, and let them know, give them the what for. Or if you're in like thing like me, I'm going to come right to the face right then when it's happening and stop it in the tracks. You ain't gonna talk to me like that. Because I still have a lot of anger in me, and especially, and that's a trigger. See, that's a trigger of some man going. That's my domestic violence background, where when he's, if a boss, and it's usually a man, coming at me like that, my PTSD kicks in. And most of the time, instead of you get into the fight or flight, I mostly want to fight. So my first instinct is, I'm gonna punch you in your mouth. You ain't gonna, you know what I mean? But we can't do that. So, like, I'm not naming any names, but I had a boss that thought he could talk to me any kind of way, and first time it happened, I nipped it in the bud. Stop in your tracks right now. When you calm down and you can talk to me with respect, then you can come. Then you can come on in and talk to me. But you ain't gonna talk to me like that. I'm not the one. I have done nothing but respect you and show you respect. You will not talk to me like that. And so put your brakes on. And without thinking sometimes, I think if he had pursued it, and especially if he got into my little bubble, I definitely would have cocked back and bam, because that's like a protective thing or something. I don't know. And as I have to kind of back away if I get confrontational because of that, or I feel like I have to fight. I have to pull myself away because I'm going to come at you. Because if I feel like you're making me, feel like I need to fight or flight, I'm going to come up out of that corner and I'm going to make you regret it. So I have to, put myself, I have to stop myself too, especially if it isn't as severe as what I'm thinking it is. So, yes, yes, Charlotte, yes. So, that's a feeling, so I still got to work on that too. If someone comes from behind me, oh Lord, I instantly, my arm cocks back. I get more so the fight part. There are moments, there are times, like any kind of a bunch of loud noises and stuff like that, I'll be like, I have to get away. That's rare. Like, there's arguing, but that's not me, but it's like in a group of people and they're or loud voices and stuff like that. It'll set me off, and I'm like, I'm ready to go. You ready to go? I'm ready to go. I get all, and then I have to think, okay, this, I understand what's going on. You can't handle that. You can't handle that. So, instead of me, being aggressive and just yelling, shut up, everybody just shut up, and infecting everything around me, I just remove myself from the situation, so because I've learned about myself. So, anyway, I hope that you've gained something from this. From we can laugh a little bit about it, but I'm dead honest. Those kinds of things happen, and that's part of a PTSD, and that's PTSD. A lot of people are thinking that that's just from people that are veterans. No, anything traumatic that has happened to you, you can get PTSD. You can, it just, and but most of the time it's where I feel like someone's in my bubble and that they're going to hurt me, physically hurt me. Most of the time, I really can become combative, instant, bam, where I feel like I have to pounce and protect myself. I can laugh about it, because, I'm sure if I were someone looking at me going, what in the world is wrong with her? But they have to understand my situation. And I don't, a few years ago, I didn't feel I had to explain myself, but, I've always been a boisterous, very, not take any shit. I was that way growing up, and was real bad in my 20s. I didn't take no shit, and I still don't. I just pick and choose my battles now. Things that used to be very important to me, I no longer prioritize. I don't know if it's because I've grown, emotionally, or with age, or it's a phase. I don't know, but I'm learning myself. We evolve, and usually that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to grow and evolve and learn from our mistakes and other people's. You do need to talk to other people. That's what our elders are for. They give it life experiences, and I remember being in my being younger, and family members or other people, older people, would try and give me advice. And, I just thought I knew everything, you know, especially as a teenager. Oh, Lord, you just think you know everything. And so, like, I try to, use my life experiences to help others. You know, Knowing that, these ways that I feel, you're not crazy, it's normal, but you got to learn how to handle it, and learn your triggers, and know that you can't stay there. It's okay to feel these feelings, but not where it's toxic to yourself and in your environment. So, I hope I haven't lost anybody. I hope you're still here. Again, please like and subscribe. I am also on Facebook, Real Talk with Lori. I'd love for you to continue on the journey with me, of self-reflection and healing. I don't claim to be a counselor. I don't claim to be a therapist. I'm just speaking from experience, and hoping I can help someone. Oh, good. Okay, good, good. I see I have 3 viewers. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So, is there anything that you guys would like to talk about? A feeling of any kind of way, or? I'm really upset. My flowers fell off. Anyway, that's a picture of our daughter and her 2 children at the time. They were 1 and 3 when they passed away, when she passed away. And so our aunt drew that picture of her. Oh. Yeah, so this is in here, kind of, she's always with us, I said, all the things that have happened to me, the toughest has been her, the loss of her. And, we were raising her 2 children. Like I said, they were 1 and 3 when she passed away. And speaking of feelings, everybody just thought, oh, what a blessing. What a blessing to raise your grandchildren. Well, I personally didn't see it that way. Especially the daughter, the granddaughter, she looks just like her. It was just like looking, across the table at her, at Megan, and it kept me angry. You go through stages of grief, and it just kept me angry with our daughter. Everybody feels things differently. Like when we were in therapy and I said that, my husband didn't understand it because he wasn't there yet. He was like, how can you be mad at her? Well, and I'm thinking, well, how can you not be? Because I, as a mother, thought, you're not thinking, she was thinking of herself and not thinking of her children, but, we didn't, again, it's stages, it's feelings, and everyone's entitled to them. But it kept me angry with her. And so we weren't able to grieve really. We were so consumed, engulfed, because, they had, dealing with the death of their mother too, and other issues. They have a lot of other issues. And that was tough. That was tough. We, put them first, of course, absolutely, and they absolutely needed us, and we needed them in a sense too. We held on to them as like we were holding on to her. And, it was a tough decision to even contemplate them no longer being with us. Even as hard as it was, if that makes any sense. It's a kind of a contradiction, but it was a tough decision. So Layden, the grandson, he has a lot of issues with him, chemical imbalances, and he was really tough to deal with. Whew, he was a violent child. Still has moments of that, but he was angry, and he was so young, and we couldn't get a therapist to help him because you have to be a certain age, and that was tough. But we had Nevaeh, in therapy, and so when Layden, went to our other daughter, we were able to focus, our time and energy and efforts and on Nevaeh. And, we didn't realize all the issues that she had because Layden's behavior just superseded, it just took precedence over her behavior, but little did we know, in the background, she was doing all these other things. So, it's been tough. It was tough. We had her in therapy, a lot. She went a lot. And even in the summer, she went to summer counseling and summer camp. And, she's now with our niece, and it's, for me personally, I can't speak for my husband, but, since we've made the decision and both of them are no longer with us, we've been able to start grieving, and, I'm no longer angry. I'm at the acceptance stage, of it. And it's still hard. It's very hard. Like I said, after even, all the other horrific things, the domestic abuse, the gang rape, and all of those things have nothing on the loss of our daughter, have affected us, or me. I'll speak for me, that, because, and she died of a drug overdose. She was not considered an addict. She passed from shooting up oxycodone, and there were only 2 marks. So she'd only done it twice. The story has it, did it at 10 o'clock and then at night on Friday night, and then again 1 o'clock in the morning, and that was the one that did her in. Other than that, it was pills and drinking. But it was, if I had known these things, she wasn't living with us, and she pulled away. And if I had known these things, I would have tried to help her. But sometimes, you can't help somebody, especially if they don't want it. Because, after all of this, I've spoke to her friends and her coworkers and stuff like that. I wish they would have reached out to us and told us, but they said they knew something was going on with her, and she didn't want to hear it. So, you can't. Thank you. Yes, I kind of feel that way. I kind of feel this is Megan doing all of this, um, this pulling uh, that I have to help people, because our niece that has Nevaeh had that same pulling, wanting to ask us if she could have her, if she could live with her. So, and so I think all of this is Megan, Megan putting this in motion, so to speak, so her father and I could start healing. And I really do, you know, uh, I really do. And people can think me crazy. I don't care, um, everyone has their beliefs and things, and, that's fine. But again, this is about emotions and, feelings and stuff like that. And you have to, again, it goes back to self-reflection. You have to understand yourself. It's okay to feel these things. You just can't stay there. You can't be toxic, you know, things like that. And like I said, I'm living, breathing proof. If I can sit here and talk to you, about all these things that have happened to me, then, it, you can too. You can rise above it. You can come out of it, and come out stronger, and know your self-worth, and, get out of that toxic relationship, whatever kind it is, domestic or work environment. You're entitled to your feelings. Absolutely. you know, but you just can't stay there. You can't be toxic. And you can't affect the whole house. Like I said, going back to, when the kids I would like telling Layden no was like, you would think I had beat him. He would cry. Would be so devastated. He just did not like the word no. And he would just be so, you know, over dramatic. So I would tell him, go to your room. I don't want to hear it. You have to accept it, and you are entitled to your feelings, but you're going to go in there and do that. I don't want to hear it. So that's what I mean. If it's where it uproars the whole entire house because of your feeling, if you need to get a grip on it. And this is the hardcore truth. You're entitled to your feeling, but not when it affects everybody and everything around you. Does that make any sense? um, Said I'm proud of the generation that I came from, being tough, because I don't think it would have I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have that suck it up, you fall down, you get up, you brush yourself off, but I didn't know anything about anxiety or depression, all these mental health things. I didn't, and it seems like what I guess the millennials are the ones that are more in tune. It seems like a lot of them have mental health issues. And I don't know if it's because my generation were softer on them because their parents were so hard on them. And I'm not, I used to think depression, stuff like that was because you were weak. You were weak-minded. But and I'm not saying that. I do not feel that way at all. I think that they're softer because my generation thought that our parents were too hard, so then they were too soft. I wasn't. I had 5 kids. We had to, be tough, be strict, so they didn't run us over. you know, um, they, I was not going to have a child telling me what they were going to do. I'm a firm believer in that. Like I said, they were entitled to their feelings, but not if they'd uproar the entire house. If that happened, you go to your room. You go in your room and you cry, and you want to throw things, whatever, but you're going to break your stuff up. You're not going to do that to mine. So I allowed them to have their feelings, but you're not going to make me miserable. in the midst of it. And that's kind of how I feel. My feelings, how I feel, you're absolutely entitled to however you feel, but you just can't make everybody else around you miserable because you feel some kind of way. So, learn yourself, learn your triggers, reach out to somebody. If I'm sure you have some kind of friend or family member or something, reach out just so you can talk to help work it through. Or like I said, the journal, so you can learn yourself, there's, again, nothing wrong with feeling the way you feel. Yes, please like and subscribe. Get me out there. You can. I didn't realize you could share from here. That's good. Awesome. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. I gotta start making dinner. I appreciate you hanging with me. I don't know what is today. Today is Thursday. Yeah. I probably won't be back on again until probably maybe Monday. Not really sure. Anyway, I appreciate you hanging with me. Please like, share, and follow or subscribe to my page, and find me on Facebook, A Real Talk with Lori. If you have anything you'd like to say before I get off of here. I don't know if there's a lag or. Somebody's texting me. Again, if you'd like to contact me, reach out to me. My email is my name, Lori, Lori, Kolarsic, KOTLARSIC @gmail.com, or you can hit me up Facebook, Real Talk with Lori. I appreciate you being with me. I hope I've been able to help somewhat. Until the next time, take care of yourself. Bye.